Hi there, my name is Madeline. I'm going to be discussing with you the teaching method of Suggestopedia, but before we begin, I will just use some music to help ease us into my discussion and get into the theme of what Suggestopedia is actually about. Okay, well, I think that about covers it. Hope you enjoyed that little brief musical highlights. The reason I played it was because classical music is a key feature of Suggestopedia, and I will soon explain why. But first, I will give a little bit of background on what Suggestopedia is and how it began. So Suggestopedia is a psychology-based way of teaching that relies on the use of memorization through music and with the help of a relaxed classroom setting. It draws on the belief that having a low-stress environment is key for students to retaining large amounts of information. Suggestopedia was developed by the Bulgarian psychologist Georgy Lozanov in the 1970s. He believed that the human brain could process great quantities of material if given the right conditions for learning. He drew on techniques of Soviet-era psych research of extrasensory perception, that is, and yoga teachings. He used these techniques in the classroom and did the majority of his research in a second language learning environment. The word itself, Suggestopedia, is based on suggestion and pedagogy. Another term for it is desuggestion. Lozanov's theory was that the accelerated learning could happen when accompanied by desuggestion of psychological barriers and positive suggestion. One of the main features of Suggestopedic teaching was in the classroom layout itself. Instead of having a standard learning environment of desks and hard chairs, the classroom would have nicer decor and comfortable seating arrangements, and they would all be arranged in like a circle or something like that, so everybody could see each other and make it a bit more comfortable. And this was all for the purpose of creating a relaxing learning environment for the students. The other key feature of Suggestopedia was and is music. Lozanov's theory was that music, specifically Baroque, created relaxed concentration that would lead to efficient retention and an increase of alpha brainwaves. It would also decrease the blood pressure and help calm the pulse rate. So for a second language class, the Suggestopedic method was taught through readings, mainly by the teacher. The learning environment was to be comfortable, which made for a relaxed state, and the teacher, having full control over the class, or of the class, would read out passages of dialogue. They could be from texts, like could be vocabulary, it could be plays, or he or she could be doing dialogue or role plays, and this would all be with the accompaniment of classical music. And the students would be listening, and it was expected of them to memorize what was being read to them. So these were all called concert sessions, as you know. Lozanov is quoted to have said, memorization and learning by the Suggestopedic method is accelerated 25 times over in that learning by conventional methods. However, many questions were raised about how effective the Suggestopedia method actually was. There weren't any substantiated claims that helped back up what Lozanov was saying. He made promises about his method that weren't fully supported by research, and again, the validity of his data was questioned, so none of that. But Suggestopedia does have its benefits. I will list off a few. One is definitely the relaxed learning environment, which which results in better receptivity from its learners. There would be little to be distracted by during the sessions, and this make for better concentration on what was being read out loud. As well, the use of classical music could be beneficial in that it could be uplifting and incite motivation to learn and all that. Of course, there are disadvantages as well. So one in particular probably would be the readings themselves, because the readings were always long and drawn out. The passages could also be challenging, and this could drain the learner and make it hard for them to keep up with what was being taught. As well, another downside would probably be the use of the comfortable furniture, which was not considered practical at the time, and may not be practical today, depending on situations. The reason it wasn't practical is that it probably couldn't have been affordable or available to the institutions that were teaching this method of Suggestopedia. So while Suggestopedia probably wouldn't work on its own today as a conventional teaching method, it does still have its benefits, which could be implemented into the classrooms. One such activity is basically listening to music while the teacher does a dialogue, and this could help retain their attention, and it could help with their memory. And if they aren't using, long and drawn out passages of dialogue like they did in the 1970s or earlier, or later rather, it could be beneficial, and it could be a lot easier for them to learn, and it could help create a memorable learning experience. And I think that's about it. I hope I covered everything pretty well. Make sure you leave any comments down below. I am open to suggestions. Thank you for listening and watching, and yeah, I guess I will see you all soon. Bye!